Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. The French press is hysterically reporting European forest fires release record-breaking carbon emissions. The multiple forest fires that have been raging in France since the beginning of summer have released record amounts of carbon into the atmosphere, according to satellite data. Fueled by global warming, the blazes are reducing the number of trees available to absorb carbon, further threatening ecosystems. Articles like these demonstrate a spectacular lack of understanding of the natural world. All of the carbon that was in those plants was absorbed by the plant out of the atmosphere. Plants don't create carbon, they simply recycle it. If the tree in a forest fire hadn't burned, eventually it would have decayed and returned the carbon dioxide to the atmosphere anyway. Plants grow, they absorb carbon dioxide, they get large, then they die and return the carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. If we look at Earth's carbon budget, we can see that human emissions make up a small part of all of the carbon dioxide emissions which go into the atmosphere every year. From the burning of fossil fuels, humans emit about 9 billion tons of carbon dioxide a year. Oceans emit about 10 times as much carbon dioxide as humans do. Plant respiration and decomposition emit at least 10 times as much carbon dioxide as humans. Then the carbon dioxide gets recycled through photosynthesis and goes back into the plant. It's a cycle which repeats itself over and over again, century after century. Plants and animals cannot increase the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. All that plants and animals do is recycle existing carbon dioxide. The exception to this being when dead plants get buried and form coal. Our coal beds came from plants which died many millions of years ago. Those plants removed carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and then when we burn the coal, the carbon dioxide gets recycled back into the atmosphere where it came from. In 2011, there was a very large fire to the west of my hometown of Los Alamos, New Mexico. And 10 years later, the trees were growing back very quickly, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. I took this photo last October. In order for pine forest to remain healthy, it needs to have regular fires to thin the forest out and remove excess fuel. Decades of human fire suppression made the forest very overgrown and made a large fire like what occurred in 2011 inevitable. Here's a scientific publication from last summer about European fires. In some regions of Europe, the probability and severity of wildland fire is increasing. This is due to several factors, including a decrease in farming activities, population aging, and the decrease in the exploitation of timber and wood resources. Wildland fires have been an integral part of many of the Earth's ecosystems throughout much of their evolution, but are also considered as one of the most dangerous natural disasters to human societies. The occurrence of fire is essential in the continuation of many life cycles and in maintaining the natural diversity of many ecosystems. Yet in Europe, millennia of intensive agricultural activity, the use of fire as a land management tool, additional ignitions by other human activities, as well as very effective fire suppression, has left its regions with a complex pattern of land covers and fire occurrence that shows little, if any, resemblance of a natural fire regime. Basically, humans have altered the ecosystem to create unhealthy forests with too much fuel. Nature is very good at taking care of itself and will burn the excess fuel if it's available. France 24 has no clue what they're talking about. They have an agenda to make the readers believe that they can end forest fires if they stop using low-cost, reliable energy. They are promoting a superstition which has nothing to do with science. Toto has been pulling back the curtain on this agenda for the past 14 years. You can visit Toto, Kyrie, Caesar, Toki, and Upla on the web at RealClimateScience.com.